Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something deeply personal, yet universal, a choice we all face every day, the choice to lead or to follow. Let's be real, being a follower is easy, it's safe. You avoid risks, dodge responsibilities, and blend into the crowd. But is that really living? Being a leader, on the other hand, is a different game. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's waking up every day and choosing to step into your power, even when the world tries to shove you back into your comfort zone. So let me ask you this. What kind of life do you want to lead? One defined by someone else's path, or one where you create your own? Leadership isn't about titles, popularity, or applause. It's about courage, clarity, and conviction. It's about living your life on your terms, owning your decisions, and inspiring others to do the same. Own your voice. Owning your voice means recognizing the power and value of your unique perspective, even when it feels like the world is telling you to stay quiet. It's about trusting that your thoughts, ideas, and opinions matter, regardless of how loud or numerous the voices around you may be. Too often, we fall into the trap of conformity, believing that blending in will shield us from criticism or judgment. But the truth is, every time you hold back what you truly think or feel, you deny yourself the opportunity to make an impact. Your voice is a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used and refined. That starts with giving yourself permission to speak up, not because you're the smartest person in the room, but because your perspective adds depth and richness to the conversation. It's not about being perfect, it's about being authentic. The more you use your voice, the more confident you become in its strength and ability to resonate with others. And owning your voice also requires courage because speaking up is rarely comfortable. It means being willing to share your truth, even when it's unpopular or met with resistance. It's not about seeking approval or validation, it's about standing firm in what you believe. And yes, there will be moments of doubt where you second guess yourself or wonder if it's worth it. But it's in those moments that leaders are made, by choosing to rise above the fear of rejection and choosing to let their voice be heard. Uh, Part of owning your voice is also about clarity. Knowing who you are and what you stand for gives your words power and direction. If you don't define your values, someone else will define them for you. When you align your voice with your values, it creates an authenticity that cannot be replicated, and people will notice. Confidence in your voice comes from a deep understanding of your own story, your experiences, and your purpose. Um, Take responsibility. Taking responsibility is one of the most powerful steps you can take to step into leadership. It's about understanding that your life is not dictated by external circumstances, other people, or luck. It's shaped by your choices, your mindset, and your actions. While it's easy to blame others or situations when things go wrong, true leaders understand that accountability starts from within. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up when you make a mistake. It means owning the fact that you are in control of how you respond to challenges and setbacks. It requires humility to admit when you're wrong, but it also demands the courage to take corrective action instead of dwelling on the problem. Responsibility is about empowerment because when you take ownership of your role in any situation, you regain the power to change it. It's tempting to shift blame when things don't go as planned, blaming a colleague for a missed deadline, a partner for a disagreement, or even the weather for ruining your day. But every time you point a finger outward, you give away a piece of your power. Leaders don't look for excuses, they look for solutions. They ask themselves tough questions. What could I have done differently? What can I do now to improve the situation? And I think by focusing on what you can control, you move from being reactive to proactive. And that's where true leadership begins. Taking responsibility also applies to your success. It's not just about being accountable for mistakes, but also about owning your achievements. Many people downplay their successes, attributing them to luck or external factors. But if you've put in the work, taken the risk, and made the sacrifices, you have every right to own that success. Acknowledging your role in your wins builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you have what it takes to lead. Um, it's also important to remember that taking responsibility is not just about you, it's about how you show up for others. Leaders who take responsibility set a standard for those around them. They don't pass the buck or shirk their duties. Instead, they step up even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. They take responsibility for their team's success, ensuring that everyone is supported, motivated, and aligned with a shared vision. On a deeper level, taking responsibility is about owning your mindset. It's recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you think about it and what you do next. Challenges and failures are inevitable, but how you respond to them defines your character. Leaders embrace this truth and use every experience, good or bad, as an opportunity to grow and improve. Embrace failure. Embracing failure is one of the hardest yet most transformative aspects of leadership. Failure is inevitable, no matter how careful, skilled, or prepared you are. But what sets leaders apart is their ability to see failure not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. It's a part of the process, a necessary ingredient for growth, innovation, and success. The fear of failure often keeps people stuck in their comfort zones, unwilling to take risks or try new things. This fear whispers, what if I'm not good enough? What if I make a fool of myself? But avoiding failure doesn't prevent pain, it only prolongs mediocrity. Leaders understand that the only way to grow is to step into the unknown, even if it means stumbling along the way. Failure isn't just a lesson, it's a mirror that reflects what's working and what isn't. It provides clarity that success often doesn't. When you fail, you're forced to analyze your choices, strategies, and assumptions. It's in this reflection that you find the insights needed to improve and adapt. Without failure, there's no learning, and without learning, there's no progress. And that was captured so well in this book. And Embracing failure also means changing the way you talk to yourself about it. Instead of labeling yourself as a failure, recognize that failing at something doesn't define who you are. It's just an event, a moment in time, not a permanent state. Leaders separate their self worth from their outcomes, understanding that they are more than their mistakes. This mindset shift is critical because it gives you the resilience to keep moving forward. It's also important to realize that failure builds strength and character. Every time you face a setback and choose to get back up, you become more resilient. You develop the grit to weather challenges and the confidence to take on bigger risks. Failure teaches you to persevere when things get tough and to trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. Embracing failure isn't about being reckless or careless. It's about being willing to try, knowing that not everything will go as planned. It's about experimenting, innovating, and pushing boundaries. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history have come from failures, moments where someone dared to go against the grain, made mistakes, and learned something extraordinary in the process. Leaders also embrace failure as a tool for connection and authenticity. When you share your failures openly, you inspire others to take their own risks and see that failure is part of the journey. It creates an environment where people feel safe to experiment, collaborate, and think creatively. By normalizing failure, leaders encourage growth not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. And stay uncomfortable. Staying uncomfortable is one of the most challenging principles of leadership, yet it is where the magic happens. Growth and transformation do not occur in the safety of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is predictable, familiar, and easy, but it's also where potential stagnates. To lead effectively, you must embrace discomfort as a necessary part of evolving into the best version of yourself. Discomfort comes in many forms. It can be the unease of trying something new, the vulnerability of speaking your mind, or the fear of stepping into a role you don't feel fully prepared for. But every time you choose to face discomfort head on, you expand your limits. What once felt overwhelming eventually becomes second nature, and you find yourself capable of things you never thought possible. Leaders understand this and willingly put themselves in situations that challenge their abilities, ideas, and assumptions. Staying uncomfortable means confronting your fears and insecurities instead of avoiding them. Fear is a natural response to stepping into the unknown, but it's also a signal that you're on the edge of growth. When you lean into that fear, you discover that most of it is imagined. The more you challenge yourself, the less intimidating those fears become, and the more confidence you build to take on even greater challenges. Discomfort is also a powerful teacher. When you're in unfamiliar territory, you're forced to think creatively, adapt quickly, and develop new skills. You gain insights and experiences that you simply can't get when you're operating on autopilot. Leaders recognize that every uncomfortable situation is an opportunity to learn and grow. They don't shy away from difficult conversations, new responsibilities, or high stakes decisions because they know these moments sharpen their abilities and expand their influence. Staying uncomfortable isn't just about personal growth, it's also about pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Progress, innovation, and success all come from taking risks and venturing into uncharted territory. If you only do what's safe and familiar, you'll never achieve anything extraordinary. Leaders are willing to take calculated risks, knowing that the payoff is often worth the temporary discomfort. Another aspect of staying uncomfortable is being willing to fail publicly. It's easy to stay behind the scenes, avoiding the spotlight for fear of criticism or judgment. But leadership requires stepping into visibility and taking responsibility for your actions, even when the outcome is uncertain. The discomfort of being seen and scrutinized is part of the process of building credibility, influence, and trust. And when staying uncomfortable also means being open to feedback and criticism. It's tempting to surround yourself with people who always agree with you, but growth comes from being challenged. Constructive feedback may sting in the moment, but it provides the insight needed to improve. Leaders actively seek out perspectives that challenge their thinking, even when it's uncomfortable, because they understand that this is how they evolve.
Lead by example. Leading by example is one of the most fundamental principles of leadership. It's not just about what you say, it's about what you do and how you show up every single day. People don't follow words, they follow actions. Your behavior sets the standard for others. And when you lead by example, you create a culture of accountability, trust, and respect. Leading by example begins with integrity. It means aligning your actions with your values and demonstrating consistency between what you say and what you do. People are quick to notice when leaders preach one thing but practice another. This disconnect erodes credibility and trust. When you hold yourself to the same standards you expect from others, you send a powerful message that you're not just giving orders, you're walking the walk alongside them. It's also about showing up with a strong work ethic. If you want your team or community to give their best effort, you have to give yours. This doesn't mean overworking yourself or striving for perfection, but it does mean showing commitment, focus, and determination in everything you do. When people see you putting in the effort, they're more likely to match your energy and dedication. Leading by example also requires emotional intelligence. It means modeling how to handle challenges, setbacks, and successes with grace and resilience. If you react to stress with panic or anger, those around you will pick up on that and mirror it. But if you approach difficulties with calmness, optimism, and a solutions-oriented mindset, you inspire others to do the same. Your emotional responses set the tone for how others navigate difficult situations. Another critical aspect of leading by example is accountability. Leaders who own their mistakes and take responsibility for their actions build trust and respect. It's easy to point fingers or make excuses, but real leaders acknowledge when they've fallen short and work to make it right. This vulnerability shows strength, not weakness, and encourages others to be honest and accountable as well. Leading by example also means demonstrating respect and empathy for others. How you treat people, whether they're your peers, subordinates, or superiors, sets the standard for how others will behave. Leaders who listen actively, show appreciation, and treat everyone with dignity create an environment where people feel valued and motivated to contribute. Innovation and risk-taking are also part of leading by example. If you want others to step out of their comfort zones and embrace new challenges, you must do it first. This means taking calculated risks, admitting when you don't have all the answers, and being willing to learn alongside your team. When you lead the way into uncharted territory, you give others permission to be bold and creative. Leading by example is also about showing humility. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or having all the answers. It's about being approachable, open to feedback, and willing to learn from others. Leaders who value collaboration and recognize the strengths of those around them create an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute. Create, don't copy. Creating instead of copying is a hallmark of true leadership. Leaders understand that originality and innovation are what drive progress. While it's natural to look to others for inspiration, blindly following someone else's path limits your potential and keeps you tethered to what has already been done. Creativity is the ability to think beyond the existing frameworks, to see possibilities where others see limitations, and to carve out a unique path that aligns with your vision and purpose. Creating starts with self-awareness. To lead authentically, you must first know who you are, what you stand for, and what unique strengths you bring to the table. Copying someone else's approach might work temporarily, but it won't resonate in the long run because it's not truly yours. Leaders take the time to reflect on their values, experiences, and goals, using these as a foundation for their actions and decisions. This authenticity not only sets them apart, but also inspires others to follow their lead. Innovation often requires a willingness to challenge the status quo. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing things the way they've always been done because it feels safe or because it's what everyone else is doing. But true leaders question the norms and dare to think differently. They ask, how can this be improved? What hasn't been tried yet? What value can I add that others aren't seeing? This mindset leads to breakthroughs that can transform teams, organizations, and even entire industries. Creating instead of copying also means embracing risk. When you try something new, there's always the possibility of failure, but there's also the potential for groundbreaking success. Copying feels less risky because it's been tested and proven, but it rarely leads to significant growth or impact. Leaders understand that taking calculated risks is necessary for innovation, and that the lessons learned from experimentation, whether successful or not, are invaluable. Creativity requires a level of vulnerability. To create something original, you have to put your ideas out into the world, knowing they may be criticized or misunderstood. This can feel uncomfortable, but it's also where true leadership shines. By daring to express your unique perspective, you give others permission to do the same. Leaders who prioritize creation over imitation foster environments where originality and ingenuity thrive. Creating instead of copying also involves a commitment to continuous learning. When you rely on copying, you're dependent on others to set the pace and direction. But when you focus on creating, you take ownership of your growth and development. This means staying curious, seeking out new knowledge, and being open to diverse perspectives. Leaders who prioritize learning are better equipped to generate fresh ideas and adapt to changing circumstances. Another key aspect of creating is adding value. Copying might replicate success, but it rarely contributes something new or meaningful. Leaders focus on how they can make a unique impact, whether that's by solving a problem, addressing a need, or improving the lives of others. By prioritizing value creation, they build a legacy that extends beyond their immediate actions and inspires others to do the same. Inspire others. Inspiring others is one of the most powerful responsibilities of leadership. True leaders understand that their role goes beyond achieving personal success. It's about uplifting those around them, helping others see their potential, and empowering them to take meaningful action. Inspiration doesn't come from authority or titles. It comes from authenticity, passion, and the ability to connect with people on a deeper level. Inspiration begins with leading by example. People are more likely to follow someone who embodies the values, work ethic, and attitude they aspire to. When others see you facing challenges with courage, persevering through setbacks, and staying committed to your vision, they are motivated to do the same. Your actions show them what's possible and encourage them to step up in their own lives. Connecting with others on a personal level is another cornerstone of inspiring leadership. It's not enough to deliver a motivational speech or share a compelling vision. You have to truly understand the people you're trying to inspire. This means listening to their stories, understanding their struggles, and valuing their unique contributions. When people feel seen, heard, and engaged, they're more likely to be motivated and engaged. Inspiration also comes from your ability to paint a compelling vision of the future. Leaders who inspire are able to communicate their vision in a way that sparks excitement and possibility. They articulate not just what needs to be done, but why it matters and how it aligns with a greater purpose. This sense of purpose is a powerful motivator, encouraging people to push beyond their limits and contribute to something bigger than themselves. Encouragement plays a crucial role in inspiring others. Many people doubt their abilities or struggle with imposter syndrome, and a simple word of encouragement can make all the difference. When you show belief in someone's potential, you give them the confidence to take risks, explore new opportunities, and grow. Leaders who inspire others actively seek out moments to acknowledge effort, celebrate progress, and remind people of their strengths. Vulnerability is another key element of inspiration. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with humanity. When you're open about your own struggles, failures, and lessons learned, you show others that it's okay to be imperfect and that growth often comes from the most challenging moments. This authenticity builds trust and fosters a culture where people feel safe to take risks and be themselves. Inspiring others also means empowering them to take ownership of their growth and contributions. Instead of micromanaging or dictating every step, leaders who inspire provide guidance and support while giving others the autonomy to make decisions and take initiative. This sense of ownership fosters pride, accountability, and motivation as people feel trusted and valued for their abilities.